Alrighty everyone, we should be live here on YouTube. I thought I'd do another live stream this week as we've been continuing to test out the format. As always, what's going on everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash. I hope you're having a great Thursday wherever you are. And in today's video, I want to spend some time mainly to take a little bit of an understanding where we are within the current market cycle and not just dive into Bitcoin or Ethereum, but really go down into a variety of different altcoin sectors, into the Metaverse, into DeFi and NFTs, and talk about whether or not right now we might be at a point where there could be some good value propositions in the market at current prices. And I want to spend some time to highlight how I would go about analyzing these sectors versus how most people do, which is just looking at their dollar value. But I wanted to start off by sharing one quick piece of advice with you all. If you happen to be in a part of the world during this time of the year that's cold, one thing I recommend you go try out is doing ice baths. So I usually don't film too much of my personal life outside of crypto because you guys pretty much only want me to talk about charts, and that's understandable. But I thought I would show this video here where I came out of doing one of my routine ice baths during the winter and spent about 7 minutes out in the cold water, and I have some advice I'd like to share with you here. What I've learned this winter is that 7 minutes in the ice cold water will make the crypto market dips a little bit easier and more bearable. So if you guys haven't done ice baths before, I highly recommend you do it. Something way out of just looking at the charts in the market. The lesson I've learned over the past couple years is to just put it aside sometimes, go out, go live your life, enjoy it, and think about how far you've come over the past couple of months or years, depending on when you got invested in crypto and all other things in life. There's sometimes things that are even more important than investing in the market. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this conversation, guys. We've got three general markets I want to spend some time to talk about here. The first one is going to be probably my hottest market that I'm going to be watching for to reallocate to or build some positions into the market, as I've grown a lot more confident that this is going to be one of the major overarching trends in the crypto space, and specifically in the altcoin market. And that's the topic of the Metaverse. Now I want to go ahead, and as you guys can see, if you look at the past 7 days here, from the small projects to the large ones, it's been a bloodbath. There's been a lot of these plays, which again, we had put out a video just about a week or two ago talking about the Metaverse rally possibly being over, at least this initial wave, right? And we've seen that come through. Only a few plays down here in low market cap range, excluding Wax, either neutral or slightly up, right? Most plays here got dragged down heavily with the market as some people started to take profits. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at the first major index we want to dive into. This is the Metaverse Index. It's a basket of some leading plays within the Metaverse space, from plays like Axie Infinity to Illuvium, all kinds of different plays out there that give you a good grounded exposure, plays like Sandbox, ones that you guys are familiar with, Decentraland. And what's really nice about it is that the Metaverse Index is not only a broad index of the performance of the market, generally speaking, but when you compare it to Ethereum, you see here that the ratios, or these trading pairs that it's commonly traded through, showcase some really interesting technical patterns, right? Since back here in June, we've seen the Metaverse really starting to kick off here, making some insurmountable returns. And after facing a general range of resistance that takes into mind this previous support range back here in April, these previous points of resistance, we broke through it, we turned into support, had the second major rally here, right? Back from here in October to November, right? Now, as we entered here in December, at the top of the month of November, we've been seeing a pullback since then, as Ethereum's been showing a lot of strength during this sell-off, and a lot of the Metaverse tokens were well overdue for a correction. We've had about 30% pullback here in market valuation, which is actually really good. This is the kind of stuff I'd want to see here, right? Because after having these really great breakthrough rallies and you have pullbacks in the market, you want to buy players that are showcasing strength. In the short term, of course, it doesn't look very strong. But overall, we can see over the long-term time trend that since back here during the summer, after the first kind of pullback in May, where the entire altcoin market got hit, we've seen here that overall the Metaverse is one of the few key sectors that's actually continuously over the past couple months, or really the last second half of the year, outpacing Ethereum. That's the kind of stuff that I want to look for as an investor. That's the kind of stuff I want to buy into on a discount. And we can see that every time we get nice pullbacks here, we build a base and we start moving higher. So I think that as we approach even closer to the support line, whether it's here at this valuation or down here, really depends. I would say don't wait too long if you're really trying to buy these and you think that they're going to rip a lot higher. I generally would say that the metaverse is my number one focus here. And buying into the MVI, I think, is a great general way to expose yourself to the broader market. But you can also as well pick some of your favorite plays, right? If you really like Decentraland, if you like Sandbox, if you like Axie, and you think that they're making progressional work on expanding the community, building demand for the token fundamentally, then choose your pick. It's totally fine, right? And I think either way, most of these plays are going to work together in some synchronization if the general metaverse market is rallying, right? It's usually not one or the other. But I would recommend not exposing yourself all just to one project, especially not the already well-established ones like Axie or Decentraland or Mana, right? Or Sandbox or Mana, right? There's all types of different plays you can expose yourself to within the metaverse space, many of which are not on the market yet. A lot of them are going to continue to come out here over the next coming months. The trend's not dying. There's a lot of exciting projects being built out there. So again, keep open to new players, new frontiers in the metaverse space. The second one I want to talk about is DeFi. Now this is another major index here, is the DeFi Pulse Index. Both of these are actually created by Index Club, which is a really cool DeFi protocol that allows you to get basketed exposure towards some major plays. Now, in regards to DPI against Ethereum, right, the DeFi Pulse Index, DeFi has been ripped to shreds here over the past couple of months. Not only has Ethereum been generally outpacing the DeFi sector, but along with that as well, generally speaking, DeFi since back in the first part of the year has really started to lose a lot of traction, at least specifically what this index is exposed to, which is broadly Ethereum-based DeFi. Now, I understand that might sound incredibly bearish. One of the big points we always talk about here on this channel is to not get caught 2 steps behind. I understand it can be painful sometimes whether or not you're exposed to DeFi or not. The general premise here is that when you see these flush sellouts, when you're out on this general support range that we've seen historically, when we're building up what appears to be, could very well be a descending wedge here, which is a bullish pattern, especially with all the developments going on, the lead up towards ETH2. We've got the further adoption and expansion of rollups. You got EIP 4488. There's all types of different things here that could start to set the foundation for Ethereum and specifically the DeFi protocols built on top of it to start garnering more adoption and more excitement in the market, right? So I would say that generally, if you're exposed to DeFi plays, I'd say they're in a hold position right now. But on the other hand, if you are looking to potentially build positions, look, if you love DeFi back in the first half of the year, you're going to love it at the prices you could get it at now versus Ethereum, right? So I would say that DeFi is at a point here. We see generally when Ethereum has really good exacerbated periods, that DeFi does do well, right? So again, that's something to keep in mind here as we're at this discount range. Now, for the third category here, which is NFTs, the problem is we don't have any major indexes for NFTs. And when we talk about investing in NFTs, it's a question of 2 things. Are we talking about investing in actual NFTs like CryptoPunks or Cool Cats or all these different NFT collections out there, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys straight, stay away from, in my opinion. But in regards to investing in like the protocol levels, there's Flow, there's all these different types of protocols out there in the NFT space. That could definitely be a space to watch for, because NFTs right now, even though there's a lot of fundamental work going on, and there's a lot of creative types coming into the space, really right now, there's not a lot of excitement in regards to investing in the underlying protocols. So I would say, again, all 3 sectors in the altcoin space, and this is again why we're bullish on altcoins right now, all 3 of them, even though the sentiment is quite negative right now, we like to buy into fear. And the fundamentals haven't changed. If anything, we've washed out a lot of the noise and are getting into a much better state. That's what generally I like to buy into, right? I've got better fundamentals and I've got discounted prices. And when no one else is talking about something, that's exactly when I want to start building my positions, hands down. I don't want to buy something when everyone else is talking about it. That's when you're looking to sell, or you're looking to hold out and not expect, oh, something's going to come here very soon, right? So anyways, those are some of the key sectors that I watch for. All 3 of them, I would say I'm leaning bullish on in the sense of their fundamental value propositions and the potential for price to continue appreciating. And I think that all 3, but most importantly, the metaverse has a really good chance, at least from the current technicals, of continuing to outpace Ethereum here throughout the rest of the year, so long as it can hold this general line of support. That would be my favorite sector to watch for. And again, we're going to wait and see if DeFi can start to show a little bit more resilience here. Now, I wanted to showcase a quick project here because for me, I am interested in all different types of sectors, all types of trends here. As a trader and investor, I want to spot whatever trend is going to be one that's going to be substantiated and continue to grow. But there's a really cool project a couple of my friends are working on at the moment, stuff that I think, even though it's still a little bit out there for me and stuff, and I'm still learning and trying to grasp a little bit more about the NFT space, that's probably my biggest gap, a project that's trying to bridge in the world of NFTs and DeFi. And I would even go as far to say, even though, of course, this isn't what the project itself says, is bringing in the Metaverse as well. So this is a project called Unifty, and they just actually recently launched, as of recent, or they're launching today, more specifically, the Unifty Gallery, which is a place where you can actually start to show off art pieces within the NFT community through the benefits of DeFi and the Metaverse. So you'll be able to actually have these kind of shared experiences where you can showcase art, you can monetize it, and start to actually make something of it. Start using NFTs in some degree, right? Because if you have your JPEG collections or you have your variety of different pieces of NFTs, some of them actually get really creative and really nice. There's really not much of a way to showcase it or build the community around it. And that's everything in regards to NFTs and creatives. So again, I would highly recommend you guys check them out. They just announced here today on Twitter that they're launching on the 9th here. You guys can join the Discord. I'll leave a link down below in the description, or I'll basically, you guys can find it on the website. I don't think I have it up on the description of the video just yet. But I really recommend you guys check them out because they're trying to bridge in all of those worlds together. And again, I even go as far to say that they're bringing in the Metaverse here with the gallery. So there's lots of things that we can look forward to here in regards to the sectors in the market. But I think the Metaverse is definitely number one. Second off here would probably be on par with DeFi and NFTs. All three of which I think have a pretty substantial chance, especially even against Ethereum, to potentially keep up or perform just as well. And it's good to have diversification no matter what, but place your bets more leaning towards what you believe. Do you think Ethereum's going to be just slamming it, killing it in the market, or do you think that some of these sectors are going to even grow faster? Right? That's a big question we need to ask ourselves. So I thought I'd go ahead, and I've rambled on a good amount here. Now I will ramble some more, but I'm going to go ahead and see if I can answer some questions here in the chat. Let me go ahead and get the chat box open. So Full Barbie asked me a good question, which is why would I stay away from investing directly into NFTs? The problem about investing directly into NFTs, unlike investing in the NFT protocols or the ecosystems that are helping to kind of foster NFT adoptions, minting NFTs, when you take a broader step back and you look at investing in NFTs, the problem is this: either one of two things. Either you may invest in something that is very short-lived, there's a lot of hype on it, and usually it turns out that unless you're really in the know, you're really connected, you're really early stage with some of these projects, a lot of them just fall over, a lot like the ICOs of 2017. But if you are able to get in early on some of these NFTs, you have a good eye for finding the next trend, then yeah, sure, you can definitely do it. But I would recommend that, again, it's much safer, and we kind of take that kind of, look, already being in crypto is pretty risky, right? We could be as low risk as just investing in Bitcoin. We could be as high risk as trying every hot trend. We try to strike somewhere in the middle here on the channel where it's a mixture of risk taking, but at the same time, we're going to set ourselves up in a position it's very unlikely to have some kind of black swan event, right, where we lose 80-90% of our portfolio just because we put it all in on an NFT, right? So that's my general premise here. NFTs are much more sporadic and volatile than what you find within the altcoin market, right? People are asking me, how was the dip? It was as cold as can be, but it's a good way to start the day. One interesting thing that I thought I'd share with you guys, even though I don't mean to be your medical advisor or tell you guys what to do in life, I've actually been away from caffeine for it's actually going to come up on 2 years here in March. And since then, it's been completely, my life's been much more clear and stuff overall. But so I would recommend, if you're looking for a morning wake up and you're looking to cut the curb on caffeine or coffee, definitely consider ice baths during the winter or cold showers. Both of those will do the trick. and it'll get you woken up. Jason had left a question. Thank you, Jason, as well for the donation. He said, "Hey Nick, love your work. I'm most bullish on Luxo and Fabian Vagelstaler. I see Luxo on your watch list. Please, can you give me your thoughts?" Yeah, I mean, Luxo is one of the key plays here again in the NFT space. It's a very long-term play, to my understanding. They've got their NFT, I think their platform launch coming out sometime, and I think they delayed it and stuff towards around like Q2 of next year. I might be wrong, but Luxo again is one of the major protocols, and if I remember correctly, it's founded by the individual who had actually created the standard and stuff around ERC20 tokens, or the actual standard for ERC7, I think 721s and stuff for NFTs. But I might be wrong. But yeah, I think generally speaking, any kind of major protocol plays like that, that's generally what I'm interested in, right? So we'll see over time. Like I think it's very early stage, too hard to tell right now, but definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. All right, let's see here. Do one or two more questions, then we'll close things off. So Thomas asks a good question. Is DeFi going to see a lot more regulatory challenges than other sectors like the Metaverse, layer 1 protocols, etc.? And this is actually a pretty contrarian viewpoint I have. I'd say no. And the reason why, guys, is look, if there's going to be any regulation on the DeFi sector, and I understand it's difficult to like believe in this argument when you look at the price and stuff, right? But let's be very clear about something. You create a token in the DeFi ecosystem, or a protocol that allows users to use certain tokens, exchange value, whatever, right? Let's understand one thing. You can slap a label on it. You can change the logo, the project name, the utilities of the token. You can have it under a new umbrella sector like DeFi or the Metaverse. Doesn't matter. All of this is around raising capital. It's about people utilizing the system, participating in it, right? Because of that, that is going to bring the eyes of regulators into it, right? Even though a lot of these projects are doing things by the books, they're doing things in a compliant way. Generally speaking, it doesn't matter if it's DeFi or Metaverse, play to earn, NFTs, it's going to bring the attention of regulators no matter what. So that's the thing I don't really get sometimes when people are like, oh, like there's this, congressional hearing, or there's now, they're now starting to do basically, they're going to start to implement regulatory policy on DeFi. Sure, it may come first than other protocols, but it's going to come either way for anything, right? And I have to say that a lot of the regulatory concerns over the past, couple years in crypto have been way overstated. Regulators have actually been pretty proactive with crypto for the most part, in my opinion. And I know it's a pretty contrarian view. I think they've been pretty open to allowing these protocols to work and function. And they understand that in Web3, right, it's a permissionless environment. It is out there. It's immutable, right? And again, regulators can try to do what they want on it, but I think more than anything, they don't want to be unreasonable, and they want to actually build a framework that will allow people to, utilize these applications to some degree and not be seen as a criminal for wanting to make a swap or earn some interest, especially interest rates much better than your bank will pay. So anyways, let's see here. One last question here. Oh, we got a donation here. Abhishek, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. Had said, "Hey Nick, what is your prediction for Vechain for this bull cycle? It's been lagging behind painfully when compared to other altcoins." Yeah, Abhishek, I don't have any fundamental downsides to say about Vechain, but I think the problem with it, like a lot of legacy projects from the previous cycle, is that unfortunately, it generally doesn't fit into the major umbrella trending sectors in the space. Right? We've got Metaverse, DeFi, NFTs we just talked about. And sure, yes, you could stretch it and say maybe they do play a role in NFTs or other kind of trends in the sense of tracking and validating the transported products, or for example, I know that they worked with luxury brands as well to be able to certify that it is the actual item, that it's legitimate. Right. I haven't kept up so much fundamentally with Vechain over the past year or so, but I don't see it generally fitting in too well with a lot of those major trends, specifically going to the Metaverse and DeFi. So that's why you see these projects lagging. And again, I want to actually take a step back, and that's why at the beginning of this video, guys, on the live stream, we focused heavily on the idea of starting off on a sector level, right? You can love a project to the hill and back, right? But unless you're investing in the right sectors, you're likely going to get outpaced by just simply doing the obvious investment of investing in Ethereum, right? So if you're here right now, we got to think about opportunities. If we're not just going to invest in Ethereum, which ones are really going to outpace it? And some people say, I don't really care if I'm outpacing Ethereum. It's like, well, okay, if I were to remove all labels, if I told you there's a way to make a 50% return and a way to make a 100% return, which one are you going to choose? Most people are going to choose the 100% return when they really cut it down to the numbers. And if I told you that that was Ethereum now that you had to invest in to get 100% and 50% would be the other basket of investments you make, then people start to go, oh, maybe I should actually do Ethereum, right? So our key goal here is we want to use market ratios to find this place. And you can do that with Vechain. Binance has got the pair here, right? What I notice here is that Vechain against Ethereum has a really interesting pattern here. So when we come down, for example, to this support range here, which we're actually not very far from, right? You can see here that this is generally a range where I would start to watch Vechain, right, against Ethereum. And then after that, right, what I look for here is the expanding channel. Now, I don't know if Vechain's got the momentum to really reach a new high here, but we've already got 3 in a row like this. So this is a very nice expanding channel, I will say. But yeah, Vechain would need to make some major fundamental developments and get some really interesting traction for something like this to happen, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that's it generally for the update today. I appreciate the really awesome questions that you guys put forward, letting me ramble as always. And if you guys haven't already, if you guys missed it in the early part of the stream, definitely check out the recent video I posted where I was showcasing doing an ice bath earlier. I think it'll give you guys some good motivation to try something new. I highly recommend you guys do it. I know your brain's going like, Nick is absolutely crazy. He wants me dead, and that's not the case. I want you guys to enjoy this time of the year, make the best of it, step away from the charts, and go out and try something new. And if you have done it before, get out there and enjoy life as much as possible, okay? Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for giving me some time out of your day to chat. And until the next video, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.